Normality is a paved road. It's comfortable to walk, but no flowers grow there.
Do not swallow bait offered by the enemy. Do not interfere with an army that is returning home.
Small shifts in your thinking and small changes in your energy can lead to massive alterations of your end result. Fitness is vital for sports person. I never take it for granted. My fitness mantra is healthy eating and daily exercise.
Keep creating. The world yearns to celebrate your next masterpiece. The essence of knowledge is having it to use it. I've never had anyone's approval, so I've learned to live without it.
I have learned to abide by the laws of my own sanity. Acquiring wisdom is great, but it is not the goal. Applying it is. From what we get, we can make a living. What we give, however, makes a life.
One half of the world cannot understand the pleasures of the other.
To know the history of science is to recognize the mortality of any claim to universal truth. There is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. To the world you may be one person, but to one person you may be the world.
Waiting for changing opinions is like waiting for nothing.
Truth is confirmed by inspection and delay, falsehood by haste and uncertainty. Work for a cause, not for a clause. Live life to express, not to impress. One of the most healing things you can do is recognize where in your life you are your own poison. If you try and lose, then it isn't your fault. But if you don't try and we lose, then it's all your fault.
In fact, the truth cannot be communicated until it is perceived. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. Wit seduces by signaling intelligence without nerdiness.
Feel free to argue with the man with a gun. Only make sure there are no bullets in it.
I live in my own little world, but it's okay. They know me here. Fix your mind on truth. Hold firm to virtue. Rely on loving kindness, and find your recreation in the arts. To realize that you do not understand is a virtue. Not to realize that you do not understand is a defect.
Sometimes life doesn't happen in chronological order.
Great results can be achieved with small forces.
We know everything, we just haven't thought of it yet. We never know how high we are till we are called to rise. Then if we are true to form, our statures touch the skies.
If we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other. Life is like an onion. You peel it off one layer at a time, and sometimes you weep.
Instead of complaining about the problem and blaming others, start finding the solution.
Nature's pleased with simplicity, and nature is no dummy.
It takes sunshine and rain to make a rainbow. There would be no rainbows without sunshine and rain. Every passion borders on the chaotic, but the collector's passion borders on the chaos of memories. Be happy with who you are and what you do, and you can do anything you want. When men are pure, laws are useless. When men are corrupt, laws are broken.
Politeness is the first thing people lose once they get the power.
If you give up what you want most for what you think you should want more, you'll end up miserable. Nevertheless, life and death are mysterious states, and we know little of the resources of either. Do the hard jobs first. The easy jobs will take care of themselves. I'd found out that if you push people away hard enough, they tended to go.
To a mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. By nature, men are nearly alike, By practice, they get to be wide apart. Don't ever take a fence down until you know why it was put up.
No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. We had the experience but missed the meaning. An approach to the meaning restores the experience in a different form. Somebody may beat me, but they are going to have to bleed to do it. Silence is the best answer to someone who doesn't value your words.
Great knowledge sees all in one. Small knowledge breaks down into the many.
In between goals is a thing called life that has to be lived and enjoyed. Don't wait for the right moment to start. Start and make each moment right.
I is for integrity. Be honest with yourself and others. The distance between insanity and genius is measured only by success. A rose does not answer its enemies with words, but with beauty.
If I had to live my life again, I'd make the same mistakes, only sooner. We are the sum of all people we have ever met. You change the tribe, and the tribe changes you. Everything that can be thought at all can be thought clearly. Everything that can be said clearly. Consuming all your income leads to financial insecurity, but earning to invest paves the way to financial freedom. The problem with people is they forget that most of the time, it's the small things that count. You make the world a better place by making daily improvements to become the best version of yourself.
Become braver, stronger, wiser, kinder, and you will become better.
We are seeds as well as parasites to the earth. We can either give or take, depending on our perception of growth. Business leaders make one of two mistakes: overestimating or underestimating their capabilities. Sometimes bad things have to happen before good things can.
When anger rises, think of the consequences.
They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I think the same could be said for time.
Show me that I am everywhere, and get me home for tea. One who is too insistent on his own views finds few to agree with him.
Faith and reason are like two wings of the human spirit by which he soars to the truth. He must be very ignorant, for he answers every question he is asked.
Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get.
Embrace the truth that joy does not happen to us. It reflects our mindset and choices. There is a wisdom of the head, and there is a wisdom of the heart. The world is so full of a number of things. I'm sure we should all be as happy as kings. There's no reason to have a plan B because it distracts from plan A. Perception was easily accomplished, required little effort, and it never had to stand the test of reality.
Truth is neither objectivity nor the balanced view. Truth is a selfless subjectivity. Be bold. Don't be shy to say no to the future you don't like.
The greatest stories aren't always written. They're plucked from the everyday lives of ordinary people. You think intelligence and grit can succeed by themselves, but I'm telling you that's a pretty illusion. Some stories wait their turn to be told, others just tap you on the shoulder and insist you tell them. You define your own life. Don't let other people write your script. Free your mind from routine, keep your brain somewhere else. Water and air, the two essential fluids on which all life depends, become global garbage cans. Persistence guarantees that results are inevitable.
Shoot for the moon. Even if you fail, you'll land among the stars.
This work was strictly voluntary, but any animal who absented himself from it would have his rations reduced by half.
Every ounce of my cynicism is supported by historical precedent.
A great many people always think they are thinking when they are merely rearranging their prejudices. Compromise brings harmony to both, happiness to none.
Everything, no matter how beautiful, is only with us for a while.
Strip back the beliefs pasted on by governesses, schools, and states, you find indelible truths at one's core. Molecules dissolve and pass away, but consciousness survives the death of the matter on which it rides.
Truth is what your contemporaries let you get away with.
Accidents don't happen to people who take accidents as a personal insult. Everyone makes a mistake. Type of mistake gives the perspective of seriousness. This life is not a movie, and sometimes I forget that.
Amid the turmoil and tumult of battle, there may be seeming disorder, and yet no real disorder at all.
Problems are not stop signs, they are guidelines.
Only those people create history who doesn't live in the future.
Truth is that which makes a people certain, clear, and strong. He who cannot obey himself will be commanded. That is the nature of living creatures. When I have won a victory, I do not repeat my tactics, but respond to circumstances in an infinite variety of ways. I want to drag knives over my skin, just to feel something other than shame, but I'm not even brave enough for that. Light is more important than the lantern, the palm more important than the notebook. You have to realize that you are everything and more, just on your own. Everybody gets so much information all day long that they lose their common sense. A burning desire has devious ways of transmuting itself into its physical equivalent. Prayer is the mortar that holds our house together. This body is fragile. It is just flesh. Listen to the heartbeat. Life depends on the pumping of a muscle.
The difficult problems in life always start off being simple. Great affairs always start off being small. A traitor's just a patriot on the wrong side of winning.
Some roses grow through concrete. Remember that.
I think it was the institution. I was trying to master it.
I have never met a man so ignorant that I couldn't learn something from. When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. That's what this storm's all about. The mind is everything, what you think you become. The purpose of literature is to turn blood into ink. Avoid the inelegance of assumption, the astigmatism of disregard. Free your thoughts.
Success in warfare is gained by carefully accommodating ourselves to the enemy's purpose.
To be human is to be broken, and broken is its own kind of beautiful.
Education is not the learning of facts. It's rather the training of the mind to think.
Walk at your own pace. Don't run after others because your journey may not be the same.
Better a broken promise than none at all. If I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way. It is the privilege of the gods to want nothing, and of godlike men to want little.
Change your life today. Don't gamble on the future. Act now without delay. Be humble, for you are made of earth. Be noble, for you are made of stars. People are successful because they think and act like successful people.
Life would be unbearably dull if we had answers to all our questions.
Charity, like the sun, brightens every object on which it shines. The more you are interested in others, the more interesting they find you. Be interesting, be interested. Divide your success in small pieces. easy to manage failure, easy to achieve success. Earn nicely, spend wisely, and you will live happily. It is when things are at worst you will get the best. The difference between the impossible and the possible lies in a person's determination.
All shall be done, but it may be harder than you think.
With a secret like that, at some point the secret itself becomes irrelevant. The fact that you kept it does not. I must be a mermaid, Rango. I have no fear of depths and a great fear of shallow living.
There are not more than 5 primary colors, yet in combination they produce more hues than can ever be seen.
Skill is only developed by hours and hours of work. Where wisdom reigns, there is no conflict between thinking and feeling.
Colors blind the eye, sounds deafen the ear, flavors numb the taste, thoughts weaken the mind, desires wither the heart.
If you have a strong purpose in life, you don't have to be pushed. Your passion will drive you there. Interconnection permeates the entire universe. We are all one. Champions have the courage to keep turning the pages because they know a better chapter lies ahead.
Sometimes you recognize truth because it destroys you for a bit.
The things hardest to bear are sweetest to remember. My life will be the best illustration of all my work.
If tomorrow were never to come, it would not be worth living today. Judging is the cause that creates the effect of choosing.
Imperfection is beauty, madness is genius, and it's better to be absolutely ridiculous than absolutely boring. If you're brave enough to say goodbye, life will reward you with a new hello.
In my heart's most secret place, I pity them as angels do.
Don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart.
I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
Wanting to be someone else is a waste of who you are. Ruin is a gift. Ruin is the road to transformation. No power on earth, if it labors beneath the burden of fear, can possibly be strong enough to survive. First impressions are rarely worth preserving. Men typically fall short of our expectations. Aim for the moon. If you miss, you may hit a star. Finding one important thing in your life doesn't mean you have to give up all the other important things.
Do more listening than talking. Talk more about them than about you.
We must let go of the life we have planned so as to accept the one that is waiting for us.
Nothing happens until something moves.
If you care about someone enough, you'll always be there for them, no matter what. Making mistakes is better than faking perfections. In order that all men may be taught to speak truth, it is necessary that all likewise should learn to hear it.
At the heart of nature's mystery lies another mystery. We are finite, in that we are a product and source of the infinite.
It's always about timing. If it's too soon, no one understands. If it's too late, everyone's forgotten.
If the enemy has occupied them before you, do not follow him, but retreat and try to entice him away.
Ah, nothing is too late, till the tired heart shall cease to palpitate.
It's faith in something and enthusiasm for something that makes a life worth living.
Inspiration is sometimes as simple as a shared smile. In life there are two things which are dependable: the pleasures of the flesh and the pleasures of literature. Those who count things are not worthy of assisting the people. Trust the story. The storyteller may dissemble and deceive. The story can't. The story can only ever be itself. Setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible.
Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind.
Not only are we all unique, we're also all connected. Therefore, it makes no sense that you could ever be rejected.
We humans are more concerned with having than with being. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. It is much easier to be brave if you do not know everything. Never feel guilty or ashamed for the mistakes of others.
Successful people don't have fewer problems. They have determined that nothing will stop them from going forward.
Pretend inferiority and encourage his arrogance.
Sometimes it takes years for a person to become an overnight success.
It's good to do uncomfortable things. It's weight training for life.
Make your interactions with people transformational, not just transactional. When life places stones in your path, be the water. A persistent drop of water will wear away even the hardest stone. Wisdom comes from experience. Experience is often a result of lack of wisdom.
Those who realize their folly are not true fools.
Never break or fold. That's what it takes to be major. Good works is giving to the poor and the helpless, but divine works is showing them their worth, the one who matters. Things come apart so easily when they have been held together with lies. The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is comprehensible. The greatest blessing granted to mankind come by way of madness, which is a divine gift. Stars do not pull each other down to be more visible. They shine brighter. Spoon feeding in the long run teaches us nothing but the shape of the spoon. It's not enough to be nice in life. You've got to have nerve.
The truth is the kindest thing we can give folks in the end. Faster, faster, until the thrill of speed overcomes the fear of death. Vote for the man who promises least. He'll be the least disappointing.
However beautiful the strategy, you should occasionally look at the results. Sometimes, the only reason for us to be somewhere else is to see things from a different perspective. Don't be afraid of your fears. They're not there to scare you. They're there to let you know something is worth it. We hunt the flame, the light in the darkness, the good this world deserves. When I was born, the doctor slit my throat to see if I could talk. When you choose one way out of many, all the ways you don't take are snuffed out like candles, as if they'd never existed.
Man is an animal who has to live in a lie in order to live at all.
The truth always carries the ambiguity of the words used to express it. The goal is timeless. Chase the moment and you lose. There are ships sailing to many ports, but not a single one goes where life is not painful.
The better organized the state, the duller its humanity.
The public have an insatiable curiosity to know everything, except what is worth knowing. Disinformation is duping. Misinformation is tricking. The truth is incontrovertible. Malice may attack it, ignorance may deride it, but in the end, there it is. I visited many places, some of them quite exotic and far away, but I always return to myself.
If you fuel your journey on the opinions of others, you are going to run out of gas. All men know the utility of useful things, but they do not know the utility of utility.
Life is a moderately good play with a badly written third act. Truth strikes us from behind and in the dark, as well as from before and in broad daylight. Before wanting to feel at home with someone else, Learn how to feel at home with yourself. Expectations make people miserable, so whatever yours are, lower them. You'll definitely be happier.
There is little success where there is little laughter.
If so few female geniuses are found in history, it is because society denies them any means of expression.
Prioritize your physical and mental health. They are your most valuable assets. Stop being okay with everything. If you do not change direction, you may end up where you are heading.
Shallow men believe in luck or in circumstance. Strong men believe in cause and effect.
Changing is what people do when they have no options left.
It is one thing to be clever and another to be wise. Never stop just because you feel defeated. The journey to the other side is attainable only after great suffering.
If you are untrustworthy, people will not trust you.
Of life's two chief prizes, beauty and truth, I found the first in a loving heart and the second in a laborer's hand. I was saying the right things, but not the really true things.
Be wiser than other people if you can, but do not tell them so.
Never limit your view of life by any past experience. Our business in life is not to succeed, but to continue to fail in good spirit.
Wanting to be someone else is a waste of the person you are.
You cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him find it within himself. Create a vision for the life you really want and then work relentlessly towards making it a reality. Sometimes one likes foolish people for their folly, better than wise people for their wisdom. The most important questions in life can never be answered by anyone except oneself.
A petty thief is put in jail. A great brigand becomes a ruler of a nation.
Tried living in the real world instead of a shell, but I was bored before I even began.
So the important thing in a military operation is victory, not persistence.
The mind is like a restless monkey, but with practice and detachment can be tamed and made peaceful. Have patience. All things are difficult before they become easy.
After your death, you will be what you were before your birth.
Great truths can only be forgotten and can never be falsified. I'm not into this whole move with the times thing. I reckon we should just decide on a year and stick with it. To know you are ignorant is the beginning of wisdom. Believe in your heart that you're meant to live a life full of passion, purpose, magic, and miracle. The logical man must either deny all miracles or none.
You need mountains. Long staircases don't make good hikers. Convictions are more dangerous foes of truth than lies.
Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking.
Receive with simplicity everything that happens to you. Maybe everyone can live beyond what they're capable of. Stay close to anything that makes you glad you are alive. Life is pain. Anyone who says otherwise is selling something.
If you only write when inspired, you may be a fairly decent poet. You'll never be a novelist. They must often change who would remain constant in happiness and wisdom.
In the midst of darkness, he alone sees the dawn. In the midst of the soundless, he alone hears harmony.
Stand up and walk. Move on. After all, you have perfect legs to stand on. It takes too much energy to be against something unless it's really important.
If you can't enjoy what you have, you can't enjoy more of it. Fear is nothing more than a negative assessment of risk. We must meet the challenge rather than wish it were not before us. If those who are sent to draw water begin by drinking themselves, the army is suffering from thirst.
Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. When terrible things have happened to you, sometimes the promise of something good can be just as frightening. What saves a man is to take a step, then another step. Time's stride so uneven, some days endless, and others like the blink of an eye.
In war, numbers alone confer no advantage. Do not advance relying on sheer military power.
If you can't change your fate, change your attitude.
Things joined by profit, when pressed by misfortune and danger, will cast each other aside. Excuses are merely nails used to build a house of failure. He who doesn't understand history is doomed to repeat it. I had to philosophize, otherwise I could not live in this world.
Looking at beauty in the world is the first step of purifying the mind.
If the road is easy, you're likely going the wrong way.
When you have eliminated all which is impossible, then whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. The fundament upon which all our knowledge and learning rests is the inexplicable.
And when all the wars are over, a butterfly will still be beautiful. Life is a comedy to those who think, a tragedy to those who feel.
The person you hurt the most in this world was the person that brought you into it. I am still in the land of the dying. I shall be in the land of the living soon. Life is as easy or as hard as you think it is.
There is no such thing as a great talent without great willpower.
Believe in your greatness, 'cause what you believe is what you become.
For we can only know that we know nothing, and a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. In order to attain the impossible, one must attempt the absurd. We are products of our past, but we don't have to be prisoners of it.
Don't let your luggage define your travels. Each life unravels differently. I'm not saying I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world.